Welcome back. It's time now for Friday Fizz, and my guest today has hit the headlines several times following her friendship with Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Jennifer Arcuri is here. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. You and I were supposed to meet some months ago. You were scheduled to be a guest, and it didn't happen. So I'm delighted that we're finding time to be together, even if only remotely. I have a glass of fizz. I'm wondering, do you have likewise?
I got, as you requested, a glass of water. I don't have any beer. We're moving.
I raise a glass to you, Jennifer. Good health to you. If I may, can I just start quite simply by asking you how you came to come into the orbit of Boris Johnson in the first place? How did that happen?
I was bored in my MBA, and I wanted to find new ways of building networks in London. So I went to the British Venture Capital Association, and being new into London, they welcomed me with open arms.
So you spent time with Boris Johnson. Now, is the Boris Johnson who's tasked with handling this pandemic and everything else the same Boris Johnson that you knew and spent time with? Do you recognise them as the same person, if I can put it that way?
It's interesting. I get this question quite a bit. And, it's not just TV presenters who ask me and the many, many voters who are watching in disbelief at his actions at this point. But it's his close friends and people that grew up with him have all asked the same thing. What happened to the guy we knew? Where is he? Who is that? What is that? The scripted dialogue, the very calculated, almost as if it's been delivered, in a certain way, what is said to the public, how it's said, what he agrees with, this is very calculated. I mean, he's become everything that which he most hated. I mean, I told him once, you are never to become this, ridiculous carbon copy robot. And that's exactly what he's become. So in that question, no, I don't recognize him at all.
So the Boris that you knew, when it comes to things like the green agenda, net zero, and all of that, were those subjects and ideas close to that Boris's heart or not?
No, not at all. Not even kind of. In fact, so much so there was a video many years ago of Boris in a room. It was caught on camera where he was screaming all kinds of obscenities and climate change. This is BS. I mean, he wasn't ever interested in this. He's been told to care about this. He's been instructed. He's reading a manual, a script, whatever they told him to do. This is not something that he, ever cared about. And for someone to say, you learn, maybe someone has educated him. That's ridiculous. It's in his nature. He's not someone to ever care about this stuff. And that video that was sent to Guido Harry was sent, obviously, with best intention to be destroyed. But that's the real man on camera, not this puppet on camera that you're seeing in Number 10 now.
So how can that happen to such a character? It seemed to me really that he went into hospital with COVID as the familiar man that I recognised from his general behaviour, and he came out fundamentally altered. So, does he strike you as someone that, I don't know, is he politically compromised? Is that what has made him drop his natural inclinations and take a scripted path?
I mean, I would say, and I've spoken about this, within my Telegram channel, there is something that happens to you before you take office when you become a world leader. There are certain rituals, let's call them for fun, that happen. And then when one takes office, one has to adhere to those around him, obviously seeking endorsement and validation from those, especially within the establishment, would have been very, very important to Boris. And then, per the episode, the entire nation watched one man entering the hospital and another one, leaving. I've had several sources confirm, this isn't the same man. However, we want to, I'm not the one to look into this. I'm not an investigative journalist. Someone should be looking into this. This isn't the same man by a long shot, not just in spirit and character and demeanor. We're talking completely different. And this guy, I mean, the way the whole government is shaped. And, from day one, they sent the public into a tizzy, of all these kind of silly, nonsensical, articles to get you upset and distracted. I was one of them. I come from a place, of knowing how the media will drive a narrative to keep you distracted from that which is most important. And Boris has been complicit with a lot more than what is making the news. I mean, they want you upset about Partygate. Oh, please, let's talk about what's really happening in this nation. The silence and the censorship. There's an ongoing, very live police investigation, crime number 602-9679/21. The media can do whatever they want to try to discredit this investigation. It's happening. And it's happening under Johnson's watch. His entire administration is looking this way, demanding the public follow them, and no one's questioning it. To the point you and I spoke about earlier, we just don't understand what's happening.
You're right. You're right to say that claim is circulating freely and widely on social media, but police our sources are saying that there is no such investigation.
I understand. I know the people involved in this
circulating.
Yes, but there are too many good people involved in this. They are not lying. They do not gain anything from lying and spreading misinformation. I don't understand why this is being covered up the way it is. But just to say that the evidence is not going anywhere. Dr. Sam White said it yesterday on social, or the other day on social media, and I retweeted the hell out of it. They do have it all. The evidence is speaking. The science is actually there. And it shows horrifying data that would hold this administration complicit and culpable and responsible for dismissing all the many people who tried to come forward, who were dismissed as kooky conspiracists. I have been called one all year. They've called me everything. I have nothing to gain by sitting here and speaking the truth. Everything to lose as I feed the trolls, because we have to look into this. I understand there's one police officer saying it's not happening, but I guarantee you there are people working on this. There are at least 4 detectives involved. There is a fierce team, a resilient team that are not backing down. And I don't mean to get all shouty and emotional on this, but I want to make it crystal clear to the public that this is not something that can be dismissed or ignored, even if the media want to say it's not happening. It's a live investigation with real people, not crisis actors, not people being paid to profit off vaccine injury and make up news. This is nonsense. The truth is there are lots of people that are coming down with all kinds of things that didn't happen before, but now they are. And instead of questioning every different possible variable, there's only one side the media delivers, one-sided censor. And this is
Jennifer, this could, what you're saying there, what you're alleging there, it could only ever be borne out by data. You're referring to
absolutely.
data, all sorts of information that is not in the public domain, unless and until that comes into the public domain. What you're saying there will continue to be that.
I understand.
On social media. Do you think that the information, credible information, will emerge?
Yes, on my life, sir. On my life, yes. These people are not letting this go. There's lots of information on Telegram that never makes it anywhere else because it's dismissed, and people laugh at us and they call us all kinds of crazy names. I'm telling you, this is a spoiler alert. Everyone in the public must wake up and ask questions, not follow blindly, not believe in blind, this authority, this sleepwalking. Please wake up, break this spell. Make everybody just understand that we are not here to point blame and just to call out people just for fun. This isn't about making any kind of profit. This is about really looking at the data, and the data speaks.
Well,
the problem
we'll see if
is we only allow one side of the argument to be on TV, to have an opinion.
We'll have to see if that information comes out to support those allegations. Now, Jennifer, I introduced you as a tech entrepreneur. Part of this wider story is